Although I am a licensed clinician, I'm also just a person. I love to be able to be in my real life and speak from that point. And that's where this podcast is coming from. So enjoy.
Searching for truth, looking for answers. There must be a way to another day.
Hello. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Welcome to the 75th episode.
75th episode of
Cheers.
Keanvenient Truth.
75.
Cheers. Yay. If you're wondering, I'm drinking a lemon balm tea mixed with Smooth Move.
Oh, you got the same thing as I got.
Oh, wow. Nice.
We mix our smooth move with all kinds of...
First of all, if you're tea drinkers, you need to understand that putting one tea bag in the tea that's not how you do it. All right.
Dude,
you gotta have two tea bags, and they have to be two different ones
to mix and match.
Really get a good tea experience.
Yo, that's what we should do. We should come up with a mix and match tea bag where you buy one box, but it's got a couple different flavors in it.
But they have that exists.
They do?
Yeah, and like variety packs of tea. There's like different flavors in it.
I guess so.
Like what is that? Like that like old school tea, like the whatever, I forget what it's called, but it has like sleepy time, and then it has like a raspberry one, then it has like this one, it's like the ones that like we don't drink because it has caffeine in it.
Or maybe just get like a baseline tea that's like tea, like a good quality tea, but then have something like different flavors, but like organic something in like infusion, so like you can kind of mix like coconut with like lime or something like
coconut.
That, right?
Ooh,
lime.
Why is there not a coconut tea?
There is a coconut tea. It's like a toasted coconut almond type of thing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Have you had this tea before? I've never seen it in our cabinet.
It was actually a really good one. I forget the name of it.
What do you mean? You're talking about it as though we own it and have it on a daily basis.
I used to have it all the time.
It's really good tea. It's it's great.
Oh, we'll look at Whole Foods. It was super expensive though. The coconut tea is like very expensive. I don't know why. But,
Coconut.
Anyways, yeah, maybe just like a baseline tea, and then have like this injection thing so you can mix and match your flavors and like come up with all kinds of other stuff.
Oh my God, it's like what they do on, there's this show called Secret Lives of Mormon Wives that I was really obsessed with. And they aren't about tea, but they're about soda, because when you're Mormon, you don't drink alcohol and you get your fix through like the caffeine from soda. But all around this town where they live, there's soda shops, pop shops, and you literally walk into the soda shop and you could create your own mix of soda. They have like, you can have soda with like coconut, like some other kind of like, flavor milk thing in it. It's like really
with
like,
ice cream, right?
No, it's just like all these different flavors that you add to the soda.
Yeah, that's an old school thing. It's been around since like the 19 like.
Old school 50s. Where does this has never existed in New York. It has never existed in Florida as long as I've been in those places. But in Utah,
talk to my uncle and my dad.
It existed here in Rhode Island.
Yeah. And then they'd have like ice cream floats too, so you could put like different sodas with your ice cream.
No, there's a difference of putting different sodas with your ice cream. I get that. I'm talking about, this is a shop where you walk in and the whole back of the place has like all these different flavors that you add to the soda, but it's like creamers. It's like It's like flavored milk creamer things. So you have like coconut milk thing in soda.
Oh. Whatever. I'm sure there's a lot of sugar and chemicals in that shit, and who cares about it?
There are. And I guess, that's how Mormons, that's how they get down, because they're like, they can't drink alcohol. Right, exactly. So anyway, but something like that, like a cool tea shop.
Yeah, you just have to figure out a way to get the extract of these different flavors without the chemicals. I mean, I'm sure they've done it before and they exist. I mean, you know, they do it with like CBD and stuff, so terpenes, whatnot.
Not to switch subjects for a second, go into maybe some TMI, but
Mm,
so the other day I went to yoga.
yeah.
And remember when I was there, all right? So first of all, I got there late, okay? The lights are dim. It's candlelight vinyasa yoga. The room's packed. And I get in there. Luckily, there's like a little corner section. I just get in there. I'm good. Okay. So, you know, I just want to also disclaimer. I am going to be 43. I have pushed a human body out of my vagina, right? You know, so things change. So I'm in this yoga class, and as I'm doing the downward dog, I guess air is getting in my private area. And then when I got up from the downward dog, I queefed. Loud as hell. It was the loudest thing. I was so mortified. And then I told one of my friends today the story, and she was like, but that happens like all the time. And I'm like, does it? Because I've only heard people fart in there, and they were like older people, like elderly.
I don't know what yoga classes you're going to, but like, you know, the ones that I've never heard anybody fart or anything.
Okay, so what I want to know from moms out there who've pushed human beings out of their privates, I would like to know if you go to yoga, if you find that you have queefed in yoga. I think it might be a thing that moms don't talk about because everyone wants to be so, oh my God, don't talk about this. But I think it's a thing.
I'm sure it's probably pretty common. I just don't go to the mom's yoga classes.
Apparently, I'm the only mom in there because I'm the only one that quit. And then I didn't know what to do about it because it was so loud.
Did anybody look at you or anything?
I couldn't stare at anybody. I was mortified. I just stayed in my zone, so I wasn't looking around. You know, I was just like downward dog. You know, cat, whatever. You know, like I was just so horrified.
Sometimes I would think like the instructor would be like, I could just hear the instructor being like, and you know, it's okay if like we're releasing toxins here. This is what this space is for. You know, like just to make you feel better or something.
But would that make you feel better, or would that put you on blast more?
Maybe they wouldn't say it like right away. Maybe they'd wait like 5 minutes or something. And be like,
strategically, yeah, right. Just a little reminder
to make you feel like everything's it's okay. It happens all the time.
This is natural, but it didn't just happen once, which was crazy. It happened
Kim
once.
Says it happens all the time.
Okay, cool. It happened once, and then it kept happening. And then I was trying to shut it out, so I found I was clenching. I was doing one of those. What do they call those that they tell women to do after they have babies? Where it tightens your whatever Kegels. So I was doing Kegels as I was standing there trying to do the tree pose because I was preventing a queef from coming out.
I mean, it's better than farts. Like I hold my farts sometimes. That's not really comfortable.
Oh my God. So anyway, I would like to hear that. Anywho, parenting.
Yeah, that's what we're going to get into. Parenting.
From queefs to parenting.
We're going to talk about how, I don't know, just the
shit
things that you say or like do with your kids or watch shows or movies or whatever can like infiltrate their brain for the rest of their lives.
But not like little things. We're talking about specifically things that society considers to be funny.
Yeah.
That
funny.
We're kind of like, is it funny? Like
fun or funny. Yeah.
Fun or funny, right? There's a difference between this is fun versus funny. But I feel like a lot of people, right, especially growing up, like I know my dad did it to us too. Like we'd be young, like my sister and I having a sleepover in the room. My dad would literally put in these like cat scary dark monster eye contact lens because he's an eye doctor, so he would have them. So he would put them in, turn off the lights, and sneak in the room. Oh shit. And sneak in the room, and all you saw were these scary eyes coming towards us, right? And so that's what was funny to him.
You got peanut butter all over your finger. Can you guys see this in here? Look, that whole pile of like brown shit, that's peanut butter. Like, and that's her second pile of peanut butter since before we started. Anyways, it's just crazy.
Anyway.
Okay, sorry.
So he would come in the room and he would like literally do that and then think it was funny. And I thought it was funny too back in the day. At first I was scared, but then I'd be like, haha, Dad, you're so funny. Meanwhile, I have a shitload of anxiety now. I'm scared of everything. Now, that's not the only reason why. Obviously, I have anxiety because, you know, my dad injected fear and my mom injected fear in me and all these things that's happened in my life.
That's injecting fear, right?
Oh, I guess that is an injection of fear.
Because scared of the unknown or some like
weird
thing.
So here we go. We have verbal and nonverbal injections of fear that we as parents can do, not even knowing that we're doing it, right? So that would be a nonverbal injection, right? A verbal injection. Hey, Dad, I'm going to go to Mexico. This is all true story, by the way. Hey, Dad, I'm going to go to Mexico. Okay, be careful if you go to Mexico. You know, I mean the cartel out there and this and that, and you're dark skinned and your husband's Korean, you never know. This is like,
I just heard they cut off some guy's head down there. The cartels are crazy.
No, he would be specific. He'd be like, I just heard that they just cut off a Asian's head. You know how many times my dad says Asian?
Oh my God, yeah.
It's wild. He says Asian so many times.
I don't know if he's trying to like relate to me or what, but
I don't even think he realizes he says it so much.
Yeah, subconscious relation.
It's wild. So anyway, that's verbal injections of fear, right? So anyway, as parents, we do stuff like this all the time and think that it's funny when at the end of the day, it's like, is it actually though doing something opposite of what you think it's doing?
Like you think you're just in the moment having fun with your kids and like scaring them for a second. Like my dad, so I can remember one particular time, but I can remember a million other times too. But this one particular time we were at this just regular store. We went to go buy some dumb thing or something. And it was like a big store. I think it was an Ann and Hope for all you like Rhode Islanders.
What is that?
Ann and Hope.
I have no idea what that is.
It was like kind of like a Walmart back in the day, So I think we were getting like school clothes or some shit. And we had this thing where I'd hide on my dad or something, then like I'd pop out and scare him. But he's the one that taught me this. Now this is at the age of like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 or something, right? And then one day we're walking by and he hit on me in the store. Fucked up, right? I'm like 6 years old and I could not, I was like freaking out because I couldn't find him. And he let it get to the point where I was like crying and like freaking out. And then he comes out, he's like, boo! And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. And to me, I can remember that moment and it was not even funny then.
Was it funny after though?
To this day, to me, it has never been funny. But there's been other moments that, we did like hiding things and popping out. And that's what kind of led up to that thing, I think.
Yeah, it's like all these things. Movies. Okay, so our daughter doesn't watch. We don't really let her watch movies. Which, sometimes I'm like, just throw her a bone.
You're nostalgic about it, but I'm like,
yeah. So
there's too much injection.
She doesn't
in movies nowadays.
Yeah, so she doesn't watch movies. The only movie she's seen is Frozen, and then she's watched Old School. So she watched the other day.
Oh, Old School movie. I think you're talking about Old School. Like...
Oh my God, sorry, no. Old School movies. Like what was the one she just watched?
We watched the Old School, like
Robin Hood. We watched the old school Robin Hood. Right. Classic. Yeah. Right. So she'll watch stuff like that. But not a lot at all. So anyway, but let's say if like she has friends over or we have family over and like they want to watch something, I'll put something on. She can't even watch Moana. She got scared. She gets scared over. And that could be also because we don't obviously let her watch movies. So she's kind of like, what is this? But at the end of the day, though, there are scary scenes in all these fucking movies that are supposed to be for kids. And I'm confused as to why they're for kids if they're scary. The Little Mermaid, that little fucking octopus, whatever she is, forgot, Ursula.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole,
Ursula's scary.
Dance and scary, like
poor unfortunate souls. It's like so creepy.
That is injecting shit.
It's injecting fear. Absolutely.
fear of unknown, basically. Anxiety. That's anxiety. Right?
Oh, totally. Listen, as a clinician, okay, I don't know the numbers because I'm like a numbers person, but like I definitely fucking know that from 2006 until 2024, almost 2025, the one most common number one out of any mental health disorder I always work with, anxiety. I mean, that's like a given. That's like I diagnosed that probably about, I can get 10 new patients in one day, and all those 10 have anxiety. Like, legit.
And they have no idea where it came from.
They have no idea where it came from, no idea that they even have anxiety, some of them. Some of them are just like, oh, I just thought that was how people
that was normal.
think. And I'm like, no, you know?
Now you just hop out at your kids. And
right. Like,
it's fun.
Like, no, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. So, I mean, I don't know where you're trying to go with this, but I just feel like, you know, like,
I think, no, I wanted to kind of like lay out some like just examples like we have been, and just show people that maybe some things that maybe they're doing are injecting anxiety into their kid down the road, you know? Like basically every movie that you can think of that is supposedly for kids is doing that. There is some scene or something in those movies, in every single movie, that is doing that over and over and over. Then they get desensitized to it. Then they think that that's normal.
Right. And so speaking on that piece, so we take, well, more so me, but I take my daughter to Disney. Joe will only do it probably once and that's it. And he's over it. But when we go to Disney, which is supposed to be the most magical place on earth, we go and we get there. And I will tell you, she's afraid of every single ride. First of all, I'll tell you why. One, they're all dark. Okay.
Why?
She's 4.
Why are they dark?
They're all dark. I mean, like pitch black in some moments when you're on the ride, right? Pitch black, dark. It could be for the most fucking happiest fucking movie ever, and yet still, there's darkness.
What about It's a Small World?
Well, that's creepy.
That whole thing is just creepy.
It's a Small World, after all, is so
like,
creepy.
This is the creepiest thing, and it's going to get injected into every single kid's brain.
Wait, that song is like, I can't get rid of it.
It's like 10 minutes.
That one's a bad
Small
one.
World after all.
That one's a bad one. And everyone's like, oh,
it's all dark and shit.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not dark and It's a Small World.
Well, a lot of it's dark.
No, it's not.
Yeah, there's definitely dark parts of it. The whole thing
It's a Small World has so many lights going on, but it's just like these creepy fucking old puppets that are like, it's a small world after all.
Don't sing it.
You know, like, they're creepy as fuck. So all the rides are dark, right? Loud. Boom, bam, pam, pow, pa, roar, boo, oh. Okay, that's scary. So Soul's like holding her ears, you know, like it's scary as hell. And then it's like just shit like that, right? So between the darkness and the loud noises and then fire and this and that, plus our kid does not watch really TV or movies, right? Yeah. But while we're at Disney, we're watching all these other kids, thousands and thousands of other kids going on these rides like, woo, yeah, woo, fire, cool, darkness, wah, like, yeah, they're like, boom, boom, and they kill you, I'm dead, like saying all these things, and they're like 4 and 5. Meanwhile, our kids, we take her on she wouldn't even go on Frozen. I couldn't even convince her to get on her one and only movie that she's ever watched that she actually loves. I couldn't even get her to go on Frozen, because after experiencing the other ride she went on that was just pitch black on the inside and loud, she was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. So again, I think partially is also because we don't inject those things onto her. So therefore, she also just does not know. Right. And then when you are used to stuff like that, you become desensitized and think that it's like totally cool. But is it for 4-year-olds? I don't know.
Well, clearly it's not, because every patient that walks into your office has anxiety.
And obviously, I'm not saying that that's the only reason, right? Clearly, there's lots of other factors that go into that. But like, do I think that that's one of them? Absolutely.
Definitely. And then it just like goes to different layers as you get older with like other movies. Now it's like crime movies, and then fucking horror movies and all this other stuff. It's just a heightened level. And then you get a whole country filled with fearful people of God knows fucking what because they don't know what's going to happen.
I will say that's true. You know, I mean, when I had my panic attack on the baby moon that we had, right? So I had like really bad postpartum, like really bad, and I had like really bad obsessive compulsive thoughts and like all this stuff. And so actually, this wasn't postpartum. My anxiety got heightened really bad when I was pregnant. So I was, I think, in my beginning of the third trimester. And so the anxiety, I remember being really, really, really bad. And at that point in my life, I also loved watching scary movies.
Yeah.
I watched them all the time, right? So we go to Asheville for this like baby moon thing, right? And so Asheville, what is that, North Carolina, South Carolina? I always forget. Anyway, Asheville, cool place to go to, by the way. So we go and we get this Airbnb, and it's like me, Joe, our dog, and then our daughter that's in my belly, and we're just like enjoying the last little, you know, hurrah, I guess, before
we went.
No. I didn't get there yet. No.
We didn't get there.
We're supposed to enjoy it. Right. We're supposed to enjoy it.
That was the idea.
Right. Now, before we even thought about Asheville, we're trying to think of places to go to. I have no idea, but we're thinking of places to go to. So it's like, you know, Joe's like Tennessee, blah blah. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Alabama.
Not going to Alabama. No, right. And so this was
racial
also
things.
at the time that like all this racism, like it was nuts in the world at that time too, right? So like,
that was like the Asian hate thing was going on at that time.
I don't fucking know. I just know it was nuts. Anyway, so I was like, no, I'm not going to Alabama. And you were like, why? And I was like, I am not going to any place as a minority with a husband who's Korean. And that, right? And then I got all in my head because my dad, when I was younger, I would always be in interracial relationships. And this one time I went to Georgia, my dad was like, careful, you go to Georgia. You know, you are in an interracial relationship, Aaliyah. You need to be careful. So this is where this comes from. So anyway, I'm like, no way, blah, 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 blah. So then we settle on Asheville. I'm like, okay.
Can we pause that for a second? So when your dad was saying that, what he's trying to do is he thinks that he's being like...
My dad's a boomer, by the way. He's a boomer.
Hey, be careful because X, Y, and Z, you know? And that's like a parent thinking like they're doing the right thing. But if you're doing it too much and too often and too specific, it really can do a number.
Doesn't come out, doesn't come out that way.
Yeah.
So then we settled on Asheville because I was like, I want to go to a place that's liberal, you know, that's like accepting of like all people, right? And so we're like, Asheville,
cool.
Right?
Whatever.
Okay. So we go to Asheville and our Airbnb is like in like what I consider to be like the mountains. Like, I mean, like there were mountains, like high up, like secluded, meaning like the closest house to me, that was really far away. Like the closest house couldn't have heard me if I yelled.
Well, you could see a house. You could see
one. And it's still what, right? So anyway, to me, that's a big shock because first of all, I'm traditionally a city person, you know, like I like houses being closer to me, right? So I'm already feeling the anxiety come up at this point, right? Again, I'm in my third trimester. My anxiety is out of control. So we get there, then we walk in the house. And it's literally like a scene from a fucking movie. It's like a movie house. Like you walk into the house and then the whole living room, all you have is like wide open windows, no curtain. It's just like open glass, like right in front of this little lake. Okay. And then our house is here. You're looking at the lake. Beautiful scene, but such a scary movie scene, right?
But to the ones that are non-injected with anxiety from a young age, you're like, this is an amazing place. We're in nature.
Not me. Not me. I was like, oh shit. Like we're in the mountains. We're interracial. We're minorities. Then when we were driving there, that's what happened. When we were driving to the house, we passed by this fucking house that had all the Confederate flags outside, and my mind
I was like,
blew.
he's just patriotic.
My mind blew. At that moment, I was like, bling, every scary movie possible is going to happen to us on this trip. You know,
think
like
about it. That's where did all those thoughts come from?
Again,
from movies.
This is from all the scary movies I was watching and my father's injection of fear. So I'm trying to make a point here. here. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, now I'm like,
well, you've told this whole story before, by the way.
I don't remember that I have.
You definitely have.
We have new viewers. Anyway, so, so it was wild. So then we get there on this one particular day, I have a huge panic attack, like huge. And the only person who can settle me down from a panic attack is my father. The guy who injected fear in me in the first place is, for some reason, the only person who I can call during a panic attack. And then suddenly, there's no injection of fear in that moment. Suddenly, it's like, sweetie, calm down. It's going to be okay. Da, 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 da. Nothing's happening. But. It's so wild.
At least you're not in Mexico.
Right. It's so crazy. But that was the first time that you've seen me have a panic attack, too. So you were like, whoa,
that whole time was just a constant panic attack.
Oh my God, panic attacks every day. So I'm going to tell you now, for anyone who has anxiety, I've had anxiety my whole life. For anyone who has anxiety, but has obsessive compulsive thought process with their anxiety, which is myself, and has fear-based anxiety, which was the story of my life, you will understand this story that I tell you that came from my mind this one particular night of my panic attack. It was, we were sleeping in bed. All of a sudden, we hear a noise. I wake up, come to find out the people from the house down the road that had the Confederate flags all outside came up all the way to the mountain, and they snuck into the house. They come into the bedroom. They take our dog. They tie him back up. Then they take you. It gets real gruesome now. They take you. They tie you to a chair. They make me watch while they kill you. Okay. Then now they kill Euro in front of me, and now they're going to kill me and my baby. I'm panicking. I need to leave. And that's what happened.
Actual thought, like this is.
Oh yeah, that was in my mind. Absolutely. So needless to say, here we are. What, 5 years later? 5 years later, I no longer watch scary movies. I haven't watched a scary movie in
that has totally subsided. Like the nightmare. You used to have nightmares.
I have not watched a scary movie in ages. I do not even watch like documentaries about like real life fucking shit, like someone getting murdered and fuck that. I used to love those. Don't watch them anymore. And now I tell my patients who have the same anxiety that I do, since I can completely relate. I'm like, yo, stop watching scary movies. Turn that shit off. Stop watching these fucking documentaries, blah, blah, because they all love that shit because it feeds into their anxiety.
And don't listen to your parents.
Don't listen to your parents. And every time I tell them that and they do it, they come back to me like weeks later and they're like, yeah, I gotta tell you, that was like the best thing I've done. I'm like, I'm telling you, it'll change your whole life. Change your whole life.
Yeah. So
anxiety is wild.
With all that being said, be careful of what you say to your kids.
Be careful what you say to your kids.
Read this from my sister.
If I could go back in time, I'd tell James all about the real Santa thing, because the idea of a mystical stranger coming into your house, sneaking into your house, down the fucking chimney, I know, it's wild, would give him hives. Look at that. Yeah. He's a kid who needs to know because of the anxiety it caused him. We've talked about it, and I've said so to him now, apologizing. Yeah, man. I mean, it's real stuff. It really is, which is why Soul knows that Santa Claus is a mythical man. Actually, Soul just thinks that we're all Santa Claus, but she still gets confused.
She still gets excited about the idea of Santa Claus.
Yeah, she does. But I'm
okay with that.
But we've also never told her the story. Like, we've never told her that this is a man that comes down the chimney and comes into the house at night and drops. She doesn't know that. She has no idea what that.
Other kids have said that or whatever, but like, I don't know. But yeah, we're basically like, there's no Santa Claus. When you do see Santa Claus at Christmas time, it's somebody dressed up, or I'm dressed up,
right?
Or it's one of our cousins or
something,
or somebody that's dressed up, and I tell her straight up. We tell her. That's it.
So now, because of my father's injections of fear, as well as Esther, let's not act like Esther is not also a part of this as well, Mom. Both my parents actually were both injecting fear on all levels of myself. I catch myself a lot with Soul, and I have to literally so many times in a day be like, oh wait, don't say that. Wait, don't say it that way. Because sometimes I'll be like, So get off of that thing. Don't fall, because you could fall and then break your arm, and then you're gonna have to go to the hospital, and the doctor's gonna have to go in there and do surgery and fucking.
You used to get into like.
I would
that
take.
when you were
I
young-
would
when
literally
she was
tell.
younger.
Yeah, I would tell her the whole thing. I'd be like, then you're gonna go to the hospital. The doctor is gonna take you, put a needle. Blah, 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 blah,
And I
blah,
was
blah,
always
blah,
like,
blah, blah.
stop injecting the fuse.
I know, and I'm so glad, because I've stopped that, and I'm like, this is crazy, Aaliyah. Like what my parents did to me. Shame on you guys. I know you thought you were protecting
They just
me.
don't know.
I know you thought you were protecting. I know you thought you were doing your best, and I love you for that. But guys, not good.
That's why we're doing this show, to help others maybe see what they're potentially doing, right?
What's wild is that my dad still does it till this day. You've heard him.
Because he still doesn't know.
The guy
We've
has
never
no clue.
actually had this conversation with
I tell him. Listen.
But he doesn't- you
I
tell
have
him in
told
like a-
no. I have told him that he injects fear in all of us, and I've given him examples. And you know what his response to me is? Get out of here! I
You're
don't do
fine.
it.
You're fine.
You're okay. Get out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, it's wild.
Well, you know, he's one of the ones that accept
Boomers. Boomers are really something else.
Yeah, so you know, it's you gotta be careful. Like today, Sol was doing some like crazy shit behind you. I don't know if you saw that.
When today? I wasn't here all day.
No, when we were eating dinner, she got out of her chair,
Mm.
behind your chair.
No, I saw it. She had one leg on the chair, one leg on the
between
couch.
the couch, and like one leg on the couch, one leg behind your chair.
Yeah,
like
and she
just
was
doing a
straddling.
split, going like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I saw it.
because in my mind,
You know why I didn't say anything? Because
Yeah,
I've
you
gotten
would've freaked
so good with my fucking fear shit and my anxiety. So I saw her and I was like, okay,
yeah.
I see you.
I still, in those situations, I still have the need to kind of explain potentialities. So I think I said something like,
You were like,
"Hey,"
Soul.
I mean, I try not to say be careful anymore.
Yeah. Be mindful.
Yes. So
Good one.
I was like, just that's cool, as long as you are aware that you know you could be putting yourself in a situation.
And she's like,
She's just like,
okay.
I'm like,
I'm
okay,
just gonna do it anyway.
Whatever. Yeah, no, I'm
Kids don't
still
listen.
kind of in my head about some of those things like that. I want to say, be careful, don't do that.
That's what I have to change. I say be careful a lot because it's so embedded in me. So that's one that I want to change up. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
whatever. We'll figure it out. But yeah, no, I think this is a good thing to talk about, and I don't think it's really talked about enough, really, because everybody's so used to watching all these fucking shitty kids movies that are scaring and injecting anxiety and fear into everybody, and then they've been doing it since the 80s. Like the parents have been doing it, you know, and it's just this cultural thing that everybody's just used to, but nobody sees how just the movies alone have created multiple layers
So many
of
layers.
stress and anxiety throughout culture. And everybody questions like, why is there so much anxiety going on in the world? Blah, blah, blah. Well, there's one reason.
One reason. Yeah.
Parents, reason number 2. And then...
Well, your environment,
things.
right? Environment, the world, fucking trauma, blah, blah, blah. We can get into the whole thing.
Well, yeah, then it's just, the layers just get deeper.
Deeper and deeper and
more
deeper.
Harder, more serious.
Right.
This is probably
Well,
like the
anxiety is
easiest
also-
one to resolve.
Well, yeah. I mean, anxiety is on a spectrum, right? Like many things. So it's not like, you know, when we have anxiety, it's like, oh, all anxiety looks and feels like this, right? I mean, anxiety can go anywhere from really, 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 really intense to maybe like what I consider to be some good old fashioned anxiety, which is just kind of like, all right, you know, I get overwhelmed or or like, let me worry about things a little bit, or, you know, like, that's like, to me, that's like the easy kind of anxiety to work with. But when it's over here, the obsessive compulsive stuff, ruminating thoughts, spiraling thoughts, fear-based thoughts, blah, 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 can't stop them, vivid fucking imagery of something, that's on a whole other level.
I guess that's kind of like living in the future, right? And
What do you mean?
there's also like living in the past, like mentally, right? Instead of being present in the moment. Take for instance, like when we were in
You're never
Africa.
present if you have that kind of, you're always somewhere else.
Right. Right.
Well, with anxiety, period. Even with the good old fashioned anxiety, you're not present.
Right. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like the one way to try to resolve that is try your best to be present in the moment and realize in most cases like everything is okay right now and whatever, like these are all thoughts of potentialities in the future because of some sort of trigger in the moment of like your environment right then and there.
Yeah.
But 99% of the time it's all bullshit. It's a trigger, as opposed to you could just be enjoying being there with the people that you're with or whatever and talking about whatever. You're caught up being in the future because you're thinking about these things that have been injected in your brain with all these triggers for the whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I mean, I think that with the being, it really just boils down to on so many levels. And I tell my patients this is that the majority of society, the majority of people in the world really do not know, one, what anxiety really is and all the different faces of anxiety. Two, they also don't know what their own actual anxiety levels are. So, for example, on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most intense and 0 being not intense at all, are you able to identify your cognitive cues, behavioral cues, and physical cues at every single level of your anxiety? So, by cognitive cues, I mean what's going on with your thoughts. So, are your thoughts getting scattered? Are they tangential? Are they fear based? Are they slow? Are they this? Are they ruminating? Are they obsessive? Are they compulsive? That's cognitive. Your behavioral cues are like action, things that you actually can control, whether it's, throwing something or yelling or whatever it is, right? And then physical cues are things that happen to your body that you can't control. Heartbeat racing really fast or skin tone turning flush, red, whatever it may be. The majority of people in the world do not know what each of those cues are for a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A lot of people just know what maybe a 10 feels like if they've experienced it. And a lot of people know what a 0 is, right? Because that's nothing. But no one really knows what a 5, what a 4, what a 6, what a
yeah,
7.
I remember
So
you used to go through that.
absolutely.
And you were telling me the different layers.
Absolutely. So what happens is in order to get a really good handle on managing anxiety, you need to be able to identify and be very aware of what's happening to your body at each of those levels. Because if you don't, you're going to end up implementing a coping skill when you're already at a heightened level for you, which could be a 6 or an 8. We have no idea, right? Because everyone's different. But by that time that you implement it at a heightened level, of course, the coping skill's not really going to work. You're already past the level. Okay. But if I know what my levels are, and I know that a 10 for me is like severe panic, crying, worry based, fear based thoughts, something bad's going to happen, catastrophe, right? That's a 10, let's say. I know a 9 is going to be a little similar. An 8, though, is going to be different. Okay. A 7 and an 8 may be a little similar. A 6 is going to be different, right? But if I know exactly what they are, then I know, oh shit, that means that every time I get to my 4, my version of what a 4 is for me, I now need to implement a coping skill now before I get to a 6. Because a 6 is a point of no control, right? It's
Is
like,
there always like a buildup, or it
yes,
just goes 0 to 10?
no, for the most part, there's always a buildup. But again, people, if you have no insight and no awareness, then it's going to feel like you're going 0 to 100. Yeah, it's going to feel like you're going 0 to 10 because you have no insight. So, stuff like this takes a long time to really even like when I have my patients do this, this is not like an overnight thing to do. This is like you got to live your life. And just while you're living your life and while you're coming into these moments, be jotting down and taking notes of what's happening to your body for all those different things that I said, cognitive, physical, and behavioral. And then once you collect all the data, you can then go back into that scale of 0 to 10 and start plugging things in where you think they really fit. Okay. Then you can go based on that scale to help you implement the coping skill at the level that you need to implement it at to prevent you from hitting a higher level and going to a point of no return. You know? So that's really, really important when it comes to anxiety. And then I think once you have that foundation and you can do that, then from that point we can focus on mindfulness and this and that and all those skills to basically help you manage the anxiety. But fuck me teaching you about mindfulness if you don't even know what your levels are. Because you won't know when to implement it or when to utilize it anyway, because you don't know what your levels are.
Mindfulness is actually just like kind of preventing you from even getting to like the level like 3.
Absolutely. Mindfulness is like you are sitting at like a 1-0. You are in the present moment. You're not worrying. You're not overthinking. You're not overanalyzing. You're just like, I'm here doing a podcast, sitting, talking to a microphone, eating peanut butter and apples, and that's that.
Being present, yeah.
I have no idea what else is going on the other floors of this house right now. No clue.
Nor do you care.
Really don't.
Right.
You know, so that's really what that's about, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I hope that for anyone who has anxiety, you can take something from this, because I have a lot of patients who come to me who've been to therapy God knows how many times, and I always will ask that question: do you know what your levels of anxiety are? And they look at me like I'm crazy. Like they never. And I'm like, okay, well, we can't. I can't take you from 0 to 100. This is like we have to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like let's take the steps to get there.
Is that different from like levels of like stress?
No, stress would fall into anxiety as well. That's like the same umbrella. Yeah, it's the same umbrella. But you could do this for anything. You could do this for levels of anger, which again, anger is connected to anxiety, right? For a lot of people, anger is a secondary emotion. So therefore, if we're feeling anxiety and we don't even know we're feeling it, so therefore we're ignoring it, suppressing it, whatever it may be, it can come out sideways meaning anger, depression, whatever it is, right? Right, you know? So yeah, it's gotten into a little mental health break.
Therapist rant there.
Little mental health break.
No, it's good though. Yeah, I mean, that's all I got on that, really. Well, I mean, listen, I was looking over here on the side of the table too. Do you see all this stuff over here?
But this is not necessary right now.
Yeah, okay.
This is not necessary that you pick up on what I'm doing on my side of the table.
What?
Be present. In your present world,
Oh,
in your present,
Oh, now I'm gonna be present
in your present
on
box,
my side of the table.
in your moment. This is my moment right here.
You come down here with your peanut butter and shit, smear it all over the table.
Oh, the other thing that I did want to get into. Have we talked about the practice and that we opened that and that?
Yes,
So for actually, I do want to shout this out for anyone in Rhode Island watching this podcast right now, or listening to it. Infused with Love Therapy, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is actually hiring. We are looking for a LMHC, LCSW, licensed mental health counselor, licensed clinical social worker to come join our practice. We are growing, expanding, very excited about it. So if anyone listens to this in Rhode Island and knows of any LMHCs, LCSWs, contact us. info@infusedwithlovetherapy.com. Give us a shout out. We're also out there on Indeed, so you can check out the post on Indeed or the ad or whatever the hell it is that you want to call it. Yeah, so we're doing that, making big things happen.
Also, I don't know if we talked about this either. We started group therapy about a month ago.
So about a month ago, we also started group therapy there that I'm running, and hopefully the new person who comes on board will also be running. Right now, it's a one-man show, guys. Right now, Infused with Love Therapy is
2 men.
Well,
I mean, I'm behind the scenes.
You're behind the scenes, yeah. So in terms of like doing the therapy, it's a one-man show. So so I need someone to come join me in our great little practice. But specifically speaking, we really do need someone who's clinical and holistic spiritual. We are a clinical and holistic / spiritual practice. I'm not really all about just clinical and only Western medicine. That's not my thing. I think everyone's different and has to be dealt with differently, and different things work for different people. So, someone with experience in both of those worlds would be great.
Fairly specific person. But I'm sure we will find her.
We will find her or him, someone, whoever.
Person.
It doesn't matter.
Anyone.
Right. Doesn't matter. So yeah, and then we have group therapy going on. I love it.
Wednesdays.
That's every Wednesday at 4:00. That's like a process challenge group. So if you want to be challenged, if you want to have other support systems around you who are going through shit too, and you want to hear some feedback and, just kind of maybe get pushed in a way that maybe you haven't really been pushed before, so that you can really kind of work on some shit, then hit us up. There's also a trauma group grief group. Well, grief trauma group that I have opening up Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. So if you or anyone you know is interested in that, you can also hit us up.
Yes, there is actually a link on our website for group therapy. So infusedwithlovetherapy.com/group. And there is on the bottom, a small little form you fill out, and that's how you join.
Yeah. So let people in Rhode Island know. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. That's about it. It's time for me to.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's time for me to relax, everyone.
Sunday night.
I'm tired. I got a lot of shit going. A lot of good shit, but a lot of shit. A lot of shit. Yeah. So, and a lot of good stuff. I'm not going to say anything more than what we're doing with the practice, because it's all exciting stuff coming up. But
yeah, especially, towards the new year, it's really going to be ramping up. It's going to
be wild. Yeah. So, and life's going to get even crazier, but in the most amazing way possible. So yeah, look out for us. We're coming. We're coming at you hard.
Infused with love.
Yeah, infused with love. Right. You have to get your tattoo.
I am getting it, right?
That's your Christmas gift, right? Christmas gift.
I already asked for my Christmas. That is my Christmas gift.
Right.
From my wife.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And then when our kid turns like 14.
Or whenever she feels comfortable.
14, whatever.
Not older than at least 14.
I was 14 when I got my first one.
You were?
Yeah, and that was my name.
I was like 17.
My name on my back.
It's just so...
Bottom. Like, it's not even like, it's like...
So...
And
whoever's behind you can remember.
So this is actually really, really TMI and really inappropriate. But I remember when my dad first found out, we were talking. I came from a family who we're all Spanish and we have no boundaries. So anyway, we're talking about the tattoo, blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I got this tattoo, blah blah, like it's on my back. Blah, blah. So my dad sees it, and he's just like,
you could get HIV from this.
No, he sees it, and he's like, oh okay, and he's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a spot just in case someone forgets your name
when they're behind you.
I think that's what he was insinuating. I think that's what he was insinuating. Like he didn't say that part, but in my mind, I think that's what he was insinuating. Yeah, so awful. Anyway, no boundaries. But when she's 14, I would really like to bring her to get the same tattoo as all of us.
Yes, I mean, I'm not pushing it. If she comes to us. No,
I'm not gonna push. I'm not gonna be like, girl, go get a tattoo now. But I mean, like, if she's like, Mom, I want this tattoo, I'm gonna be like, let's rock, let's get it.
And you gotta get the 1111 and join the gang.
I don't know if I'm a part of your gang.
Why?
I don't know.
You are a part. You just are a part.
You guys have been together for a long time. That's fine.
No, we're always taking new members.
Okay. Well, that's nice. All right, everyone. Have a great Sunday. Go into the week starting strong. I'm fucking excited for this week. I'm excited for Monday to start. I'm excited to go to work tomorrow. I'm so excited to do some EMDR. I got some EMDR tomorrow set up. I'm excited for my talk therapy sessions. I'm excited for my group therapy on Wednesday. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Shout out to all of them. You guys know who you are. And yeah, so that's my life.
I'm excited too.
All right, everyone, have a